Good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us from. My name is Omalala Alfred. I'm an MVP in the business application ecosystem, and today we are here at Building Copilot with Generative AI in Microsoft Copilot Studio with no other person than Abdulaziz Ahmed, and I'm so excited at what Ahmed will be showing us and teaching us today. So we've started this training class. We started 13th of July and today is 20th of July, meaning that this is, we're not just starting, this is like our second class. So if you have any questions while he's teaching, please just put it in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand, and when he's done, he will go ahead and answer your question. All right, please ensure that your mic remain muted so that we will not distract Ahmed as he's teaching. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the class. Over to you, Ahmed.
Right. Thanks so much, Malala, and thanks guys for joining this section today. And it's going to be raining today, so here, and I hope it's not the same for everyone there, but it's fine. Thanks once again. Thanks for joining. This is day 2 for Copilot on this topic, building Copilot with generative AI in the Microsoft Studio. Right. So the last section, we actually started with introduction to Microsoft Copilot with generative AI. So we talk about what is generative AI, and also we also discuss around the Microsoft Copilot Studio. And so we also talk about the generative answers, right? And this we discuss around how the generative Microsoft Copilot Studio is leveraging on generative AI to in building the Copilot, right? So we also talk about we also show a demo on how to use Copilot to create Copilot. We'll also talk about how to use Copilot to create topics and so on and so forth, right? So we also talk about the sources as well, the both internal sources and external sources as well. So most often last week we talk about we also show a demo on the external sources, right? So, and also the URL considerations. So when you are using generative AI with external sources especially, and also the internal sources as well. And yeah, today we're going to look at the deep dive on these topics, on this generative AI with AI knowledge within the Copilot Studio. So we would have looked at the authentication aspect as well. But I just discovered this morning that my subscription expired actually, and that has been disabled. So I try as much as possible to get a subscription for that, because you need Azure subscription to configure your app registration, and also that's what enable it for to set up your authentication method within the Copilot Studio as well. So we just talk about the concepts about the generative AI as well. So I think I will share the video if you missed the last section, and you can watch the video I shared on the WhatsApp group as well. And also it's actually is on the YouTube, so you can find it there as well. We can share it probably later today. Or more I can help to share that as well, in case you don't have access to that, in case you haven't seen that. So we will discuss around AI knowledge, and we'll also be looking at the actions as well. So we just give you some samples of actions and how we can be able to leverage on this Microsoft Copilot Studio as well, right? So, yep. Does anyone have a question before I continue from the last section? Okay, so I will say that. So we jump straight the to the section, the demo. But then before I actually go there, I wanted to talk about the AI knowledge. What do you mean by the AI knowledge, right? And of course, we know that uh, Microsoft Copilot Studio is leveraging on AI knowledge to actually boost conversations, right? So without creating topics, and normally in Microsoft Copilot Studio allow you to create topics, and within the topics you can actually um, you know users can converse or have conversation with the Copilot, and when you when users are trying to access the topic, probably the Copilot try to access the topics based on the first thing that the one thing you should note also that the Copilot will actually go into the first step, the first information that the Copilot will present to the user is your topic, your custom topic, or probably topics you have actually configured within the Copilot Studio. And if those information required and requested by the user, right, is not available within the topics, then the Copilot go into the generative AI knowledge and fetch those information from the resource or sources you are provided within the AI knowledge. So in this case, we mean that the generative AI knowledge is a source in which Copilot fetch information about your provided data, right? So we're going to look at these different sources, how we can combine different sources together in AI knowledge from the topic, from the without configuring topic, if you don't want to use configuring topics as well, right? And because last week we talked about we show a demo on the configure topics, and so and inside the topics, each of the topic node, we actually configured generative AI and with data sources as well. So, but today we're going to look at the AI knowledge and actions. So by next week, we'll be ready for authentication, which is going to be the last class as well. So before I start, I just want to confirm if you can see my screen, the Copilot Studio environment.
Not yet.
What you guys are seeing?
Yeah, I can just see your video.
Oh, really? I'm not sharing. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I thought I was sharing. Okay. Um, just give me a sec. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Copilot Studio, right? Is that correct? Screen you're seeing. Just want to confirm you're seeing the correct screen. Copilot Studio screen, if I'm correct, please.
Yes, we can see the Copilot Studio.
All right. Thanks so much. Okay, for that. Okay, so last week we check on this. I will just quickly go into what we did last week, and from there we can connect to this section. So we created a board last week, and here we're able to create topics. Here we create topics, and within the topics here we created one topic called the general information. So in this general information, we create a question node where user can select within the this question node. So they have option to select from there. And within that, we also configured generative AI for each of the, so where the information is being sourced from the public website, for example, right? So if you look at the classic data here, you will see that the information was sourced from the Earth organization. Yeah. Also, we look into the if you look at the node. So I'll just try a few things, for example, now. So, and if I add this option, let me refresh again. And if I select health option, so this is going to give me the details about the health organization, right? Health um, information, right? So with that, there's also references as well, right? That's been provided. So once I click on this, it's giving me the information when I need it to go. And within that, you will see that if I go to another section, so if I click on that, it also give me the information regarding the health services as well. But if I need to ask specific question regarding the health section, health, let's say how to apply for medical card or how to get an appointment on so on and so forth like that. So this information you're seeing there is fetching from the data source that we provided here. So what is the data source? And if I click on this now, you see that there is a public website in which I was able to, um, provide within the generative AI answers node, right? So now we also do the same for if I say, okay, let me ask for how to apply for medical card. Sorry, there. So this information probably is going to give me the information how to apply for medical cards. As you can see, the information I asked is how to apply for medical card. I didn't ask about specific location, right? And if you look at the answers, that the first sentence that came up with what generative, apply for medical card in Ireland. Do you know why is it this? Because the URL I provided is actually within the island country. And this information is being fetched from that URL, right? So that means that even though you try to go out of the topic, understand, within this topic, this node, right? So although there's what we call fallback URL. So if answer could not be found within the provided URL, something can fall. There's fallback topics as well that I can actually provide it for more information as well. But because we have limited we try to limit our sources to specific, since most people that are within the location will be asking questions around the location that we are, for example. And if they go to our website, for example, they find out the generative this Copilot Studio in our website. So it's going to provide us those information from within our website, information that we have provided from the data source, right? So also give me some options. I mean, like in terms of the steps and how to apply for this and where I can actually source for those information as well. So if I refresh and here, so I'm going to select education as well. So it's going to provide me some details about education here in Ireland here, for example. So if I click on this, it's going to provide me the URL for which I can get those information, probably, and so on and so forth. So that's what we did last week. And there's something also we also did last week. That's what we call the Bing custom search, right? So now, if I go to data source, right, and this information, before I go that, I'm going to go to travels, for example, and the travel options, yeah, is going to give me probably going to provide me with information regarding traveling and and so on and so forth here. So, and how did I become about this being this data source is fetching from the what we configure in the Bing, right? So what we call Bing's custom search, right? So the Bing custom search allow you is a custom allow you to configure your custom URL, right? Where you can have multiple sources, URL sources. Let's say, for example, I have here is about zoo, and here it's about education, and if you go, I mean, discovering the island and visa and so on and so forth, coming to Ireland, how to travel to Ireland, and all this information, right? And all I need to do, rather than for me to provide within the data sources, to provide all the URL, like all the 4 URL, 5 URLs that I have configured within the Bing search, all I need to do is to provide just configuration ID. All I need to do is just provide this within the Bing search data sources here. So without requiring me to, to actually, provide all the, URL within this data source, right? So no matter information, so if I go to this is a question node, I mean, generative AI node for the Bing search, right? So if I ask about Dublin Zoo now, so this information is going to come from the, as you can see here, is actually explaining, giving information about the zoo within the custom Bing search I've configured here. It's coming from here as well. So if I click on this site, so it's going to take me into Dublin Zoo and so on and so forth, right? So within this topic, so now we have configured this data source within the topic node, right? And taken from different sources, and from Bing search to URL and so on and so forth, right? So now, as you can see here, I did not configure so many topics, right? I only have one topic with generative AI and so on and so forth, right? Then today we're going to look at the AI knowledge here. As you can see, there's no AI knowledge, and we're going to combine different sources of knowledge, different sources of from documents, files, and also from public sites, and also we're going to create generative AI actions as well. So with AI knowledge, you can actually configure, we can add a public website, for example. Let me say here, let me just try to provide Microsoft Store. Give me a sec. I'm trying to look for probably a website I can actually provide. Just give me a second. There. Yeah, I'll just use the Microsoft Store as a sample, for example, as an example here. So here you can add a public site, and within here, as you can see, there's a link name, and you can add as much as possible URL to that as well. So once I do that, and here, and I can add additional information that I want the Copilot to go and fetch those information within the AI knowledge itself without creating further topics there as well. So if I click on add knowledge, so I can go to, so there are different sources where you can actually connect your data, provide to, so from SharePoint. So you also have a Dataverse. Fabric is still on, is coming here, and from your enterprise data source as well. So we're supposed to look at the SharePoint also. I hope you can be able to look at without authentication. Like I said, probably next week we're going to look at the authentication side as well. If I go to file, and here I can add more files. Here, let's say here, I'm going to select PDF. So I can select more. Let's say expensive. Let me see if I can add more documents there. And here it's on policies as well, right? You're going to click on add. So when you're uploading files or documents, there are supported types of documents, which I'm going to show you probably in a few seconds now. Let me see if I can be able to show you here. Okay, so these are the types of the supported document types, right? You have a Word document, Excel, PDF, PowerPoint, and so on and so forth. You can also have a JSON, and also other data supported sources as well, for document type. So here we have added policy, documents and also PDF and URL combined, right, in the sources. So here is still indexing. Let's try to refresh. So it's going to take a little bit of while before they can actually, you know, let's see why it's doing that. I can also publish as well. So when you add documents, just like when you add document to the SharePoint site, right, it's going to index the document when you upload it to the web to the SharePoint site, right? So with Copilot Studio, it's more, I think it's more faster than what you can have within the SharePoint. So let's even try to refresh the page. Let's see, should have read it by now. Okay, right. So this is ready. And here, if we try to, let me see. Okay, and that's one of the things. So probably I need to configure this topic, and here I don't want this topic to pop up first when I open the chart, right? So what I'm going to do is to go to topic here and one of the custom topic conversations directs, because I actually redirect these topics to that. So I'm going to remove that. And once I do a refresh, yeah. So now, oh, so as you can see here, it actually, provide me within the document itself, right? With the information I have within the document. So if I go to my document and let me try to open that. Second. So here I have the, give me a second there. Sorry, the screen is trying to be very fun a little bit. Oh, not sure why I'm having to use this document type. Let me a second. I'm trying to bring document here. Try to bring it here small. Sometimes I'm having an issue trying to. Yeah. So documents here we have the company return policies, eligibility, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the information that's been provided for me, you will see that this information is actually coming from the document, right? That actually here to eligible for return and must be used and so on and so forth, right? And if I also look at the citation, so after having provided the information directly and also provide me also the citation as well. And this citation also like give you, it's showing that this information is being fetched from the document, right, itself. And now if I go further and also ask question, what is the expense limit? Limit as well. So I expect this information to be fetched from also from another document, right? And if I look at the AI knowledge here, you see that we also have the expense policies, right? And this policy is also is fetching from the expense policy that we have within the document, right? So once I open this, and here this document has expense policies. Those are the expense limits, as you can see from within the documents here. And so if I go back to the Copilot, you see that this information is being fetched, and also there's a citation as well, which provided more details about the expense limits I can take within the document. Right now, I can go further and ask about how to create. So I must also expect information to be generated from within the PDF format as well. So as you can see here, so what we're trying to do here is that without creating topics within the Copilot, right? So within the Copilot Studio, you can actually use the AI knowledge. You can leverage your AI knowledge to have information being presented to the user, right? Okay, somebody asked to share the link with the document. Okay, let me, sorry. Yeah, I can share you. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a link to the document. So here, you can leverage on the AI knowledge to create, for the information to present to the user, right? The information on this. So you can add as much as, so what we're trying to do now, you can also, provide the SharePoint. Let's try and provide a SharePoint link as well. Let me see if it's going to work out. How it's going to work out there. Okay, so now at the moment today, probably today, we will not be able to use the SharePoint OneDrive because we need to provide authentication. We need to configure authentication. We are going to talk about that next week. I could have talked about that today, but because of my subscription, I just discovered this morning, so it was actually not giving me. I'm not able to do that today, right? So, but then once I did that, so the next time, before I move on, is there any question? Okay, can you prompt a question that is not already cited? Let's see what to return. What about a question that's not already cited? So yeah, within the limits, within the information to the data sources that we are provided to the Copilot, right? So the information we provided from within that, and let's say, so there's there's um, there's also information regarding, let's say I asked about what is, okay, let me ask about. So now I ask question around what are your visa types, and so the generative AI is trying to provide, direct topics to a custom topic, right, where I configure some options regarding entering travels and so on and so forth, right? So if I click on travels, for example, and if I ask further about what's your visa type, as you can see here, once I select that, actually, it's actually provide me with the information regarding. And so now, if I, let's say we've not configured, let me ask about the current weather. Let's say what is current weather. So I don't have information within the Copilot Studio, right? And what the Copilot did was that I'm unable to provide this real-time weather information. However, you can easily check the current weather by using a weather website or something like that. So I don't have information, this topic at a data source within the Copilot, but the Copilot, the generative AI content, it has actually enabled to use its own initiative to provide information in a very, let me say, in a nice way, right? And asking me like, okay, it's not able to, to provide this real-time weather, but you can actually check from the website. Trying to give you like use its own intent. It understands the user intent about the question, the intent behind your questions, and it's trying to, inform you that I don't have this information, but you can get this information on a weather website that's which can be probably from your smartphone or from your even from using your browser as well, right? So now that's one thing about the generative AI, within the Copilot Studio, and you can configure, you can have a time, maybe have a time to play around within this topic as well. So now I'm going to move to the next section, the next topic, which is going to be actions, right? When we talk about action within the Copilot Studio. So we are talking about the what kind of, we're talking about we're talking about the steps or actions that which the Copilot can take to provide this information, right? So we have connectors, different types of connectors, like over 1,200 connectors within the Copilot Studio. In which you can leverage on within the Power Platform, which you can leverage on within Copilot Studio. So with the actions, you can extend the capabilities of the Copilot and a Copilot Studio. Sorry, you have Copilot within the Copilot Studio. So, and these actions are used by the Copilot to respond to users automatically, right? And within that, by using the generative answers, and so you can also call public, you can call policy-based flows, you can call connectors, custom connectors, and so on and so forth, right? So in this case, I'm going to show you how to, use probably a connector within the Copilot Studio as well. So once I click on create, add, and here I'm going to see different connectors, right? You can get it within the Excel, and also you can get different types, so you can search more, and because once you click on search, you can search more. Let me say get user, so on and so forth. So I can add more, so you can see the limited. So depending on what you actually want to, so within the dataverse as well, you can get information. Let me remove this. Let's see dataverse. There are a lot of data connectors you can also use within the. So yeah, I just use a sample just to show you how to, just use some kind of sample. Let's say, for example, I want to get a forecast weather for today, for example. So let me use this. This is like a common examples that most people use, and I'm going to use that as well for your just to simplify the process of connections here. So now, when you're doing that, there is information regarding authentication as well, right? Then, because we don't have, you can actually select user authentication and Copilot auto authentication. So in this case, we're going to use a Copilot or auto authentication. We're not going to use a user authentication because this is going to require the user to actually be authenticated before they can get those information, right? We can use Copilot Studio authentication. So I think this authentication thing is something we need to actually discuss by next week. And I also enjoy you guys to join next week is because this mostly is going to require within the organization if we are actually configuring Copilot Studio for your organization or for any other implementing this solution with your customer, because I've seen this requirement. I've seen the requirement a lot, and then there's one of the requirements is that you need to probably a customer support service. You'll sell your products, or probably your supplier. Most companies has suppliers contact within their systems, and they need to be able to provide them some kind of information in case they require it, or there's an application process in which the user for applicants, they submit an application process online, and they came back, they needed to know the status of the application, you know. So they go to the website, they see the chat bot there, and there they try to chat with that. I want to know my status. Before they can access to that kind of information, they need to be authenticated. They need to, uh, they need kind of authorization to be able to authentication authorization to get those information before, because that information is being sourced from the internal system, right? So, but in this kind of thing, that's where you can now think of how to configure your Copilot Studio with that kind of authentication. So which we're going to talk about next week. So in this case, we're going to use this, and here you have inputs and outputs. The inputs are the information that's going to retrieve from the user. In terms of location, the bot will ask you your location and what kind of metrics are you going to use to determine the bot's going to determine to provide you with the kind of information it's going to provide you, right? Then we also have the output, right? So this is the output in which it's going to present to the users in terms of the time, the moonset, and so on and so forth, right? So you can also you can edit it and provide your own description and provide more outputs. So yeah, let me see where you can provide more. And also, yeah, you can update it and also and so forth. So let's go ahead and save this one. So this computer, we're going to look at the defaults. We are not going to touch this. You see the information being displayed and description of the here. So here I'm going to click on finish. So when you do that, we're going to allow it for a little bit of time, probably for some seconds. If it works, it's going to fine, but most often it might not work immediately. So we want to provide small time for you to be able to properly indexed. So we're going to refresh, and here we are going to look at ask information about what is current weather. So it's going to ask what is current weather, and here, yeah. So you just have to wait a little bit and refresh. And okay. Before I can use actions, I think there is something I actually mixed out here. So before you can use an action, as you can see, this information is provided for me, right? So I need to enable generative actions, generative AI within the Copilot Studio. So I'm going to go to settings. Apologies for that, just didn't come to my mind. So I go to generative AI, and here you're going to use enable this generative, allow your Copilot to identify appropriate combination of actions, and so on and so forth. You must actually use this. You must enable this before you can use it within the Copilot Studio. Now here we have this, and this has been saved. So now we go back to our Copilot Studio, and let's try to publish. Also, most of the time I like to publish. Yep. So why does it publish in background? Once you click on close, and let's see is going to provide us. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Let's see, it's going to provide us information. So I'm expecting to provide me two-step information, like asking me, yeah, it's still trying to configure this. Now you can wait for some time. Like I said, you just have to wait for some time. But in our case here, I'm going to install these boats until yes. So as you can see here, what location would you like to get the forecast for today, right? What city and so on and so forth. And here I'm going to say probably Lagos. And let's see this information. So, and it's going to ask me the what measure, like what metric unit. You know, the other time we talk about the inputs, location, and units. So these are the questions it's asking me now. So the input that you needed to provide this information. So here I'm going to say metric. And so here I just want to check what is weather condition within Lagos now. So really, and it said that it's rainy showers during the day and mostly cloudy during the night. So I'm not sure if people from Lagos, yeah, this is the right information, right? So this is like generative answers, right? Not within your data source, right? That you're providing, probably your documents, your URL, or something like that. This actually is using another site API to provide those information, right? This information can come from anywhere. Probably, I mean, like if you ask a question around, probably in another country about the weather, make inquiry about whether in another country or something like that, right? It's going to provide. So let's go further and then I ask question about the weather condition. And if I can ask probably, you know, let's say in Dublin here, what's the weather condition in Dublin? And so if I say metric, so yeah, in Dublin Island, it's light raining during the day and most cloudy during the day. So now I need to get more information about what I need to get. Probably I need to get a forecast, right? Because I only asked about current weather condition, right? So what is the forecast? Okay, weather today. Okay, now so yeah, I'm expecting to get more information that I get earlier. So get a metric. Now, as you can see that it actually provide information regarding the weather forecast in Dublin. As you can see, the moon, you know, we talked about the outputs earlier on, right? The input and output. So this is the output. These are the metrics you see. These are the output variables you can see from within the topic. I mean, the connection actions that we selected within the connectors, right? So here is provide me the degrees and so as information, rain chance 48%. Currently there is you know, and so on and so forth. So this like it is answered from, you know, from third party API and so on and so forth, right? Right. So any question before we move on or close for the day if time still permit? Any question from you guys? Okay, so I can see Mansour asking question. Do you want to ask question?
Yeah. What if you put the location and the metric on the single prompt? Will it still return, or you have to separate it?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we can give it a try to see what information it can provide us. So and what is in metric? Okay. Actually, it's something I've not tried before regarding this combination, but let's give it a try and see is going to provide us directly all the information and so on and so forth, right? Yeah. So this answer your question, that if I'm correct. Also, so we will have this provided information directly when we combine this question together. And yeah, I think we talk about the prompt engineering in the first class and how you can form your questions. And a lot of people complain about, especially when they are using ChatGPT and so on and so forth, that they are not getting the right information and so on. It depends on how you can be able to prompt your question to the board. Probably we're going to select some other topic, how we can build a responsible Copilot using how we can build responsible generative AI. So in this time, we're going to look at the Azure OpenAI. And so how can you build responsible? So what Microsoft has I've defined different types of responsible. Any AI solution, it could be robot, any AI solution. What are the principles? There are 6 principles of building responsible AI. And also there are also principles of building generative AI solution as well. So we can also look into these topics. And we're we're using Copilot Studio. There we're going to look at, you will be using the Azure OpenAI with that. And if you look, so one of the things we talk about there is the prompt engineering, how you can be able to configure your board in such a way that uh, um, we can formulate questions with prompt engineering and so on and so forth within the Copilot Studio. We can formulate a question, test the board, formulate a question to see how the bot will respond to the users. So, and with this, you can be able to build a responsible. One of this is one of the metrics, one of the principles, right? We also have some other principles. There are so many principles. Principles within generative Microsoft have defined in building generative AI. So how user can be presented with the kind of information or custom prompt from the user as well, right? Now, so sometimes most time you have to be constructive about your question. We are asking question about question to the Copilot or to the chatbot. Now, so this is the project I have today. So now, if you look at the thing, I just want to show you about something around the responsible AI. So if I go to probably let me say Copilot Microsoft.com, and here ask information about how to create poison. Sorry, sometimes. So can you see that you're not going to get this information? That's what we talk about responsible AI, generative AI, right? They say, sorry, I can't provide you with that request, right? So now, if I also ask for that question, as can see, actually, if I create a new topic, let's say how to make gun. Yeah, it cannot provide this information. This is what we call responsive generative AI. So how do we do this? How do we filter, moderate those information that can be rendered? So in Azure OpenAI, if we are going to talk about this topic, we're going to look at that, how we can be able to prevent that. And then, so this based on content filtering that are being configured within the Copilot itself, right? So now we have similar situation like that in the Copilot Studio, right? In the Copilot Studio, we would have call the content moderation, right? And within the content moderation, if I go to settings, and here you can see with the generative AI, and here we have content moderation, right? Okay, so now if you look at the content, if you look at this, we have the this information, so it based on the kind of information, relevant information that the user actually need to visit into. So you can select this option with more generative, a fewer answer, but responses are are more relevant. And here, if you take medium, it's going to give you more generative answers, but less relevant answer. It depends on what, you know, how relevant information that need to present to the user as well, right? So, but with Azure OpenAI is a more powerful. There's a more powerful content filtering there, which we can leverage on. So we also talk about the Copilot. We then in the introduction class we talk about the tools you can use to build the Copilot. Microsoft Copilot Studio is one of them. You also have Azure OpenAI, which is more advanced in terms of, you can see here we haven't write any code and anything here within there, and Azure OpenAI is fully development area where you can actually deploy your models and the type of models you can want to use, content filtering and all that, security and all that, within the Copilot. I mean, within the Azure OpenAI there, right? I think because of time, this is 12 already, and is there any question? Okay. Is there another question? Okay. All right. This I think we leave it for today. I don't know, Malala, you there? Okay, guys. I'm not sure if Malala is still there. All right. So, okay. Thank you, guys. If you have a question, okay. Franca.
Okay. Thank you for this session. Yeah. I'd like to know if you have to pay to use the Copilot Studio.
Yes, yeah, of course. It's based on subscription base, right? Yeah. So actually, in the first section, in our first class, we talk about how you can create a trial version actually, and so you can create a trial version for demo purpose and all that. So, but if you actually want to use it within the organization, it's a subscription base. You need to acquire a license for that.
Okay, so anyway, it's different from the Copilot and other software. Those ones are free, like in Word, Excel.
No. You also
Copilot.
You need to get a license for all those as well. I think there are some licenses that come with Office 365, right? So for Copilot, your Office and all that. See, if you open your Office now, with Word Office document and all that, you can't find it there if you don't have that subscription, right? So there are types of. Let me try to find out this Copilot license. I think there is a. Yeah. So what are the license requirements for Copilot? So if you have, I think, Microsoft 365 apps. So that means you must have a, let me see a license here. Is this license requirements? Okay. So require you to have a precursor based on license assigned. You can see based on license, you can find the list of eligible license here in license requirements. So these are the license requirements you have. If you have this Office 365 business and enterprise, you should be able to have a Copilot within your. All you need to do is just go to your URL and you go to. If you have an existing license that doesn't have, probably later on your organization subscribe for a license, upgrade a license, and all that. So all you need to do is go to your Office 365, your user profile, go to accounts, then you click on update license. Automatically, you have it there within your Office. Like, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And Theodora?
And there's no other question here at the moment, so we can just round up the class. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Like I said already, this is a 3 weeks class. We've had 1 week already, and this is the second class. We'll have the third class next week. I hope that you join, and we'll also provide all the links to the first class, second class, and the third class. That's the one that will join next week. Would also be available after the class. Thank you so much for joining, and Ahmed, thank you for that wonderful session. So we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.